Welcome to the Midnight Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Easton Bennett, alongside my fellow co-host, Tyler and Easton. We are both entrepreneurs who are learning, growing, and building our own businesses. Our goal is to share experience and knowledge to help you grow and become a successful entrepreneur. Strap in. Before we get started, if you have any questions or things you'd like us to cover, you can email us at themidnightentrepreneur@gmail.com. And if you'd like to join our business Discord, where we talk about wins, business problems, or general questions, shoot us a message and we will get you in there. Tyler, what is going on?
Not too much, Easton. I just wrapped up a run, and I know you're a big Apple fanboy. I also am, but I don't think I would ever say this, but I think I'm going to get a Garmin because my Apple Watch is pissing me off.
Yeah, so I saw that on your notes. A Garmin, I've always heard of a Garmin, but I don't even know if I really know what a Garmin is. So
it's a Garmin watch.
It's a Garmin watch.
Yeah, that's there's quite a few different brands, I think, but I think Garmin's one of the top brands for a lot of exercising and endurance sports. Their battery life is just far superior. Like, I don't even get how it's even a competition. Like, Apple Watches last a day once you get used to them, or once you've been using them for maybe a year or so. And some of the Garmin's, they last like 16 days or 30 days between charges.
Okay.
Like, I don't even know how it's a competition. But yeah, my Apple Watch has been messing up so much recently on my runs, and not just my runs, my swims as well. And it's been really annoying because I can't properly track my workouts. And today I was running. It was saying I was running at like a 19-minute pace, which is slower than my walking pace. And it's just tough to, it's just annoying because when I'm trying to run at a certain pace and I can't look at my watch to see if I'm on pace right now, you know, that's pretty annoying.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I always wondered if the Apple Watch, because I know it talks about all of those different features that it has, and if it's really just that middle ground where it's like, cool, you know, you can do these things with it, but it's not hyper fixated for the people that are doing it like super intense. Or if it's just kind of like, yeah, it has those features you need there, but if you really want to get in depth, you got to get like a Garmin.
No, I think it does. I don't know. It might just be my watch. It's just been recently happening, so I'm not sure what's going on, but it's just getting annoying because it's missing laps while I'm swimming. It's not tracking properly while I run. So it was good. And I was thinking about getting the Ultra 2, which is Apple Watches as well. But it's like, do I want to risk it going there and then potentially running into the same issues that I'm running into right now? And at the same time, it's like, why not just go with Garmin? Like, you know that the battery life isn't going to be an issue on race day. So I don't know. I think I'm going to get a Garmin.
Was that kind of the biggest issue, the battery life? And then what's the stigma around having a Garmin? Is it like not cool? Is it?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. It's, you know, it's the Apple's connectivity between all of its products is just so seamless. And I think that's the main thing, because it's like, I got an Apple Watch, I got an iPhone, I got a MacBook, I got everything, AirPods. So it's everything Apple, and you have the whole ecosystem. But I think a lot of endurance athletes and people that run bike, they'll probably say you should get a Garmin. So yeah, I'm probably going to make the move.
What's one of those run a guy? Pretty expensive?
Yeah, it depends on which one you get. The one I think I'll probably get is probably around 500.
Okay. For a watch. Yeah. I suppose it's on brand. If you buy an Apple Watch or something, it's, you know, I don't know if it's in that range, but I'm sure it's somewhere around there. $399 to $799.
The Ultra 2's, the Ultra 2's around that, $799. But then it was like, if I do get the Apple Watch, I'd be able to trade in my current watch, get a Apple discount or whatever it's called, an Apple trade-in value. So it'd knock off a little bit of the price, but I don't know if I want to risk it. Like, I love the whole ecosystem of Apple, but I think I just gotta, like, I'll wear the Apple Watch for everything but my run, bike, and swims. And then I'll just have the Garmin. Maybe I'll end up really liking the Garmin, and then I just end up using that all the time. But we'll see how it goes, and I'm probably going to get a Garmin.
Yeah, I was going to, the Apple, the battery life, because are you not charging it like every night?
So what happens is now I downloaded this app. It's called Athletic, and it gives you a lot of data on your recovery, your sleep, your exercise, and all this different stuff. And it's really good if you're like training for endurance or you're doing a lot of exercising. So I basically wear it 24/7, and I just charge it intermittently, like when I shower. Maybe if it's not at like 50% before I go to sleep, I'll charge it a little bit so I can get it charged up before I do go to sleep, because I pretty much wear it 24/7 right now.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah, if you're doing it, because I know when I watch wear my Apple Watch, I always take it off at night, wake up in the morning, gets me through the full day, then the same process. But if you're doing sleep tracking or anything like that, I guess it's a little different.
Yeah. That's how so my old watch, that's how I'd basically have to do it. So it wouldn't last more than 2 days. I would have to charge it every single night, which is pretty annoying. And then this watch, I can probably get 2 days out of it, depending on how many workouts that I do.
That's fair.
And it's like cutting it close too. It'll probably end up dying on the second day.
Well, we'll have to see once you get that Garmin. You can update us on how that goes. Maybe you're a full-time Garmin guy. What else?
We'll see.
What else you got on your list?
The other thing, something that I talked about quite a while ago, was starting to get back into Nuebo blogging. And I've been doing that. Got a blog out this morning. Haven't seen many results yet, and haven't seen much impressions, increases yet. Hopefully it'll come. Slow build, potentially. But yeah, it was just something that been knocking out. ChatGPT 4 has helped out quite a bit just writing the blogs for me. But what I find is it doesn't give you a great in-depth blog. And like I try and feed it as much information as possible. I'm like, this is what I want to write about. This is what I wanted to include. These are a couple different blogs that you can take information from, gather information from these blogs, include it in your blog. These are some of the keywords that I want you to include. These are some of the pages that I want you to link to. And then it still spits out something that's like not as long or not as in depth that I would like. So I'm trying to master that. And then it's like having to go back. It's like, I want you to include this section, this section, this section. So yeah, I'm just been adding in, it's just a bi-weekly blog. So I'm trying to stay consistent with that and keep that the Google algorithm happy, where it's like we're consistently posting new content, but haven't seen anything really take off yet.
When are you going to take this horse out back and shoot it, Tyler?
I don't know. We were somewhat talking about it and just trying to like different brainstorming. We just don't do it. Just sucks because we got all these products and shit like that. So it's like, you want to buy a bunch of products?
No, I don't. Sometimes that just happens. When I had my clothing company, I still have a bunch of products in boxes downstairs: t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, everything. And it's like,
you should start giving that out to your clients.
Oh, it's not really. I don't know if it would live up to the quality that I would want to give for a gift to a client, but yeah, if I went on and was like, I got to sell every product before we close up shop, close the doors, that might have been a long time. That's how I'd view it. It's like, do you really need to spend that extra time writing blogs?
I mean, it takes less than an hour. So, and it's once every 2 weeks. So
yeah, but still,
what am I going to do with that extra 30 minutes every 2 weeks?
Whatever you want to. Extra hour a month.
Scroll TikTok.
I think there's a better use of time instead of looking at it as, oh, I only get back 30 minutes every 2 weeks. You should look at it as, why do I need to be doing that at all? That's just burning up 30 minutes. Because if it's not getting you anywhere.
Not.
Potentially not. But what is going to come of those blogs?
Potentially selling products.
I don't think potentially or hoping is a strategy.
I mean, that's pretty much any strategy.
Hoping?
Yes.
I don't think so.
This works.
No, I think you should come up with a strategy of some sort that it works. Or you test.
How do you know what a strategy works, though?
When it starts selling products for you.
I think blogging is a strategy that works. It just hasn't worked for us. Maybe we got to learn more.
Yeah.
Maybe this is part of the process in learning.
I guess. How long have you guys been blogging?
We started originally way back when we first launched, but we didn't pump out many blogs. We have a few blogs that actually hit, and I'd say I've been doing this for maybe 2-ish months, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. So I think I'm maybe around 4 or 5 blogs so far. So I mean, not many.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's pumping out the blogs. I'd say it's in the beginning when you weren't doing many blogs. I'm just saying, I think it's wasted work. Maybe I'm mistaken and maybe it does pop, but I think it's just you trying to fill up your time with something because you don't know what else to do.
I don't think that's what it is.
Well, we'll
I
see.
have stuff to do.
You should be doing that, not writing blogs for Nuevo.
I'm getting stuff done.
But get the other stuff done without Nuevo and just cut that.
I'm getting everything done.
I guess, if that's interesting thought process, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe you can give us an update on how it's going.
I guess we will see.
Yeah. What else you got for us? Anything else?
Yeah, I got one more thing. I forget what it is. You want to hit on your topic and I'll look at my notes?
Yep. So pretty much fully migrated over to digital invoicing now. I'm not really requesting checks. I'm sending a link to be able to pay online via credit card or debit card or bank transfer. Pretty much every single invoice. I think there was 1 or 2 I sent out, but it was like the last one of their contract, so I just wanted to keep it the same. But yeah, I've decided to eat the 3% that comes with sending these invoices online. It's gonna suck, but that's okay. I think once you get used to it, if it actually allows me to get paid faster, I think the 3% is worth it.
Yeah, I've been doing that I basically been doing it from the start. I asked you what you do, and it just seemed like a lot of extra work for me. And this is honestly I use Square. I think you said you use Stripe. I'm not sure what you use.
QuickBooks, but that's the payout is through Stripe. It's just built into the back end.
Yeah, so I use Square, and it's just extremely easy. You create the invoice, Square does everything else. You send it to them, and then they pay you. They take their chunk, you get your pay, and then bada bing, bada boom, you're all set. So
yeah, I never really had issues.
What I've been finding with Square, I struggle every single time, but finding where it's at in Square to transfer it to my bank account, I struggle with it every single time. Like they hide it in there because they want to like keep it in Square. I feel like.
That's weird that they don't just automatically transfer it.
No, it goes into your Square account, and then you got to you got to go to like 5 different tabs to find where your balance is, and then it's like, okay, I want to transfer this to my bank account. I need to like write it out. It's like go here, and then transfer.
So I
struggle every single time.
It's like a holding account, like a Venmo.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is stupid as hell. Square, that's stupid as fuck. It should just, when I send it through QuickBooks, it pays me through QuickBooks. They run it through Stripe, and then they say it'll be in your bank account in 2 to 3 business days. Because what the hell would you ever want to keep it in Square for? Why? What's the point of keeping it in there? Is there
Square can have money?
Is there any benefit to the consumer though for having it in there?
I think Square has it like, I don't know. I think Square is trying to be like a bank, and I think they also have like a credit card. I don't know, just like maybe you can transfer. It's very similar to Venmo.
Yeah,
like
if I could,
similar to Venmo.
you know, if I had Square and I could pay someone with it or I could buy stuff with it, okay, then it maybe makes sense. It's still stupid, but if it's literally just holding it there and I can't do anything with it, then it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes every single time for me. It's like, fuck, I forgot how to do it again.
There you go. Hop on Stripes or Stripe or whatever the hell it is. And with that goes that I have started to cancel some software that is being replaced by VidLead. So that's exciting. VidLead, that's the new website, CRM, client, everything software that I've implemented. I think I talked about a couple weeks ago. So just removing some of those subscriptions so I don't have a ton of them. So that kind of goes together. And last thing, I got a nice little free intern. My girlfriend basically said, she's like, anything you need help with, just let me know. I only work 3 days a week. And if I can give you a couple hours here and there. So that's awesome. I gave her a project the other day and she just sifted through the whole thing and picked out all the good footage. And I was like, this is electric. So I'm trying not to dip into that jar too much. But if she's willing to help, then that is awesome. I don't have to pay her, and I have a team member. And now I'm just stalling at this point because Tyler's frantically changing his batteries in the middle of the episode, because he needs every last little piece of battery out of every battery he has.
Let me say this. If I would have changed it when it was originally saying that it's like low, that would have been 3 episodes ago. So I got an extra 3 episodes out of those batteries, and now we're all good.
You're going to buy a $600 watch, but you won't spend $8 on a new set of batteries.
No, I have new set. The thing is, I bought the batteries. Batteries are damn expensive, and then you're like, you need to get rechargeable batteries, and I'm like, you're right. So next purchase will probably be, because I also just ran out of AAA batteries. I don't know if you can buy rechargeable. Do you have rechargeable AAA?
Yep, sure do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do that as well because I just ran out of AAA batteries.
Yeah, I haven't bought AA batteries in 6 years. So this is definitely a fixable issue that we're having here. But yeah, what else do you got? I think I went through all my updates that I wanted to give. Tyler, you got anything else?
Yeah, the last one's just YouTube consistency, just been extremely good, and ideas are somewhat starting to flow. I don't know if it's just stuff coming up has been.
Did you do your brainstorming like we talked about on the mastermind?
No.
Come on, man.
I've thought about that, but like today running, when I was running, the whole run, honestly, all I was thinking about is stupid Apple Watch. I'm getting a Garmin. And then I'm like, which Garmin am I going to get? That's all I was thinking about. And then the funny part is like towards like halfway through the run, maybe more so like 3/4 of the end of the run, it started tracking properly. I'm like, I don't know if I think I'm still going to get a Garmin. You're trying to pull through here, but I can't have you not working 3/4 of my run. So that was an idea that just came up out of nowhere. And then also the other idea is I watched another video of someone else training for an Ironman, and he just talked about supplementation. He's like, I don't really need to take it while I'm training, but it's just to get me used to this product because during the Ironman, I'm going to be doing it. So it's like, I need to get my stomach adjusted and acclimated to it. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy some of those products because I thought about that as well. It's just like, it's a big expense and like you can go through that stuff so fast. So I bought some of those stuff, and I think that's going to be another topic where I'll talk a little bit about that, talk about the products. And yeah, just been extremely consistent with YouTube. Haven't seen like that massive growth that I would like to see. But at the same time, I think my videos are evergreen. So hopefully if I do one day pop off, they'll come back through and maybe watch the old videos and be like, oh, this is the process. I'd like to see how he went from point A to point B and potentially go through that whole process with him.
I'm glad the ideas are flowing. If you come to the mastermind ever again and say you have no ideas, I'm going to shoot you dead on the spot. Just want you to know that.
Every time I'm on the hot seat, that's going to be my topic every time.
And I'm going to say, all right, we'll see you guys next week. We're not doing this again.
Yeah. And the last thing, not really anything crazy, but I'm having pre-workout right now because I am trying not to yawn. Last time I was having a coffee and I was still yawning. So I'm doing my best to try and not yawn while we're recording. And one thing that I know I don't know what it is. I just don't focus well. So I'm trying to focus better, like be in the moment, be present. And I'm in a men's mastermind group, and we have like these monthly challenges. One of them is meditation for 5 minutes. And I know 5 minutes isn't long, but even during that 5 minutes, my mind's racing. It's like, what am I going to do today? What am I doing? That. And it's just bouncing back and forth. And I can't even just focus on my breath. So I'm really trying to be better at being present in the moment and focusing on what's in front of me, and what's in front of me right now is you. So just trying to like be present and focus. Good.
Focus right here on me on the comfortable couch. So I can get out when he wipes the spoon and then he falls asleep.
One thing I'd noticed when you first sat down, I'm like, nice shorts. Real short.
Yeah, they're nice. Got them from Target. Actually, they're only like $7, dude. I'm a sucker for Target clothes. I'm not going to lie. They are nice. Actually, I didn't even buy them. They were a gift.
It's funny, those same shorts would probably go for like $90 at Lululemon, and all you're doing is paying for the brand.
They're definitely different quality. These are about paper thin. You can probably see my nuts through these things, but that's all right.
Luckily, I can't.
Yeah, well, luckily you can for me as well. All right, let's get into this week's topic. We're going to be talking about our businesses, which we do every week, but more specifically, how these businesses are jobs that we've created for ourselves. And there's a book, I believe it is in Rich. Is it in Rich Dad Poor Dad, or is it in the 4 Quadrants of Money? Or is it in both?
I think it's in both. Are they both by Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah, so I think he wrote, I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I think he goes into a little anecdote about it, and then he wrote the other book specifically on it. So the 4 quadrants of money are employee, which means you have a job, self-employed, which means you own a job, which is where Tyler and I are at. Kind of Tyler. He's in both of them. Business owner, you own business owner, you own a system and people work for you, and investor, money works for you. So those are the 4 quadrants. And we wanted to dive into how Bennett Creative Media and New Frame are in that second one where, yeah, it's cool. You have a business, you have an LLC, but really we've just created jobs for ourselves. So Tyler, explain it a little bit about the whole theory of, the mindset around, you've just created this job for you. You don't actually own a business.
Yeah. If you're like, for you and I, we both created jobs for ourselves in the terms that if we don't work, we're not going to get paid. We're not going to be able, what we do, we offer a service. And right now it's only, we're the only people in our businesses. And if we aren't there, we aren't present, we aren't delivering on that service, we aren't going to get paid. So at the end of the day, we're putting in time and we're getting an exchange in that for money. So if we don't show up, if we go on vacation, if we do X, Y, and Z, and that isn't what our service is, we don't get paid. So that's pretty much what it is. We created a job for ourselves.
Yeah. And, Tyler and I believe we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, that we vaguely touched on it, but that's why we figured we'd do a whole episode on it, is that I personally think that most businesses start like this, especially online businesses or bootstrap businesses, I like to call them. And when I say bootstrapped, I'm not saying a local place that opens a brick and mortar. Like, that's a little bit different. That's not bootstrap. But Tyler and I both started our business with little to no money at all. It's not like we went to the bank and asked for a business loan. We just started with the money we had and started kind of battling for money. It's like, we got to get that first invoice. Okay. We got to get that first client, and then just grow from there. So it's not like we started with team members. We didn't start with a business. We didn't start with an office. We started with ourselves and a website. And I personally, and Tyler will ask me for data, which I haven't done any research, but I'll get some to report back next week. I think a majority of the businesses you see and the businesses that you guys might start are going to be these businesses where you are creating a job for yourself.
So I'll agree with that. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to get you to both of us to switch our mindsets to be able, because I think that's how you scale. It's tough to scale when you're exchanging your time for money. And that's what we're basically doing right now. And the way that I'm trying to get past that is trying to think like different, think bigger. And it's like, how do we get past that where we aren't exchanging our time for money? How are we going to be able to create more money, create more influx? And I think the best way to do that is getting people in place to execute for you. And then it's basically buying back your time.
But I agree with you, but I don't think that we necessarily need a mindset shift. I think we both know we need to get there. But I think where you might be getting ahead is that there are steps you can't really skip. I just listened to a podcast, Scott McKenna. He owns a video podcast, or a video production business as well. Sorry. And he talked about, he owns a video production business where he's actually shooting the videos, editing. He built out a team that's doing that now. He started a pressure washing company where he was the person pressure washing, and then he has a team that pressure washes. And then he went and bought a bakery from someone that was selling it. And for some reason, his bakery failed. And when he was talking about this on one of his podcast episodes, he said he bought a business that he knew nothing about. he hadn't actually done the services. He'd never actually baked. He'd never actually come up with recipes. He would never actually done any of these things. So running that business where he had no knowledge of the services provided was extremely hard, and he ended up selling it. He said he thought he bought it knowing, hey, I've started a business before. I've successfully scaled a business before. How hard can this be? And then he found out it was super hard. So I think that stepping stone is that everyone starts by doing the service or hands-on with the product they're selling or making, whatever it is. And then the step after that is to be the person that is, quote unquote, the business owner, the person that's managing the team. But I do think there's a crucial step in there where it's really hard to start a business and then immediately go to the business manager side where someone else is handling the service or product you have.
I think you can. It just depends on your funds, because I think you can be the captain of the ship where you steer it, you put the people in place, because obviously if he's buying a bakery, you got to buy a baker that knows how to bake well. And then you're putting everyone in place. And basically you're trying to create a vision for everyone under that is going to make them want to be aligned with you. It's like, okay, here's the vision. This is where we want to go. These are our values. And then you're going to get those people that want to be associated with you and trying to get those people in place. And that's how you kind of get that ship steering in that right direction. And that's the way I'm trying to think about it.
Correct. But it's way harder for someone that's starting a business to be able to go that direction.
Yeah, depends on, sure.
I'm just saying, 90% of people are not going to be able to do that. Yeah, if Alex Hormozy goes and starts a business tomorrow, it's going to be a lot easier for him to just put the right people in place. But the creating the jobs for yourself, what I'm trying to get at is it's okay to be in that phase, but eventually you do need to think about, and like Tyler said, switch your mindset, which I don't know if we need to because I think we're already there. But you need to start to switch your mindset on how can I get to point B, which is you managing the ship and being the quote unquote captain.
Captain. I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
It depends on where you're at and your experience, I think. And I'm trying to so what I started doing is going out for breakfast once a week. I don't know. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So started doing that. And I was just in there thinking, it was just how would I try and run this business if I were to start a breakfast place? And it's just trying to think of different aspects of it, different areas, trying to do something different. And I don't know. I'm just trying, because if I were to start a business, I would obviously be in there doing all the shit. I think most people should be, honestly. For sure. Because I think that also sets the direction and has it shows the leadership, because it's if someone sees you doing all that, maybe you're doing dishes, you're helping out with dishes and you're the owner, someone's going to see that and be like, oh, wow, that he truly cares, or whatever it might be. I think it just sets a good precedent. And then I was just thinking especially being in Arte, I think it's helped a lot for me learning business lessons and how to run a business and successful strategies and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to put in place what I would do. And obviously if I'm going to be starting this breakfast place, I'm going to hire a chef that knows what he's doing. I'm going to hire waitresses and waiters that are good at what they do. And it's just trying to find those people and get them in place and then create that vision of this is where we're at, this is where we want to go. And then it's just trying to relay that to everyone. And then obviously I would be in there just showing up and showing that this is the standard that I want to hold this business to. And it's I feel we are learning those lessons along the way. But yeah, I don't know how I got here, but I was just talking about breakfast and my thoughts of what I was thinking about this morning. But yeah.
Yeah. So from my experience, we'll kind of dive into our thoughts on how we're getting from that job we've created for ourselves to being business owners. The first, from my own experience, I haven't started a ton of businesses, so I'll just talk from my own experience. But what I would do is, one, the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure your service or your product is good. And most of the times, that's going to take you actually working on the service, working on the product until it's good. For example, video production, I have to make sure that the videos we're producing are good. The clients like them. They enjoy them. Tyler has to make sure that his Google AdWords and his SEO, that stuff's good and that it's working. Once you're at that place where your product or service is working, that's when you can start to expand the team. You look for the bottlenecks. Right now, going through it, my bottleneck is editing. So right now, I know the first step to grow this and to move into the captain position is I have to hire an editor. One, it frees up a ton of my time, and then it removes me from 50% of the work that goes into making a video. So I've now turned myself from 100% having a job for myself to now 50% having a job for myself because I still have to shoot it, to 50% business owner because now I'm managing the editing side. So after you have that product and service, I think the next step, and Tyler, you can let me know your thoughts, is figuring out whatever that first bottleneck is and then hiring for that position or automating. Sometimes maybe it's not hiring, maybe one of your biggest things for something SEO wise, you can automate it. I don't know. I'm sure there's businesses where you don't necessarily need to pay somebody to do it, but you need to figure out a system for it to happen.
Yeah, you're basically buying back your time. So you can spend it in a different area to help build and grow the business. So obviously you're going to have to give up control. And I know a lot of times that can be tough for people because they're like, oh, I want it perfect. I want, like, this is my name attached to it. Like, hiring this person isn't going to be as good of quality as what I want it to be. But yeah, I think going back to what you were saying about the product, that's another thing that I was like thinking about. It's like a lot of these places, they're giving me eggs and they have no seasoning on it. It's just literally plain eggs. It's like, it's so much easier to create like this great product and like just focus on that. And like you add a little bit of seasoning on that, it's going to take it to the next level and it's just going to make it that much better. And it's like, you got to create like these great products and like narrowing down your focus until you master that one product or service. It's like, okay, this is all we offer, and it's all we offer because we make it the best. And then once you start, maybe you want to add more to it, you start creating more, but you're like testing and iterating it to get it to the best possible product that you're going to be delivering to the customer.
Yes, I agree. I don't know if we've completely tied that in there.
I just like went back to where you were talking about, but yeah, basically what you want to do is buy back your time. Where's your biggest bottleneck? And like, not all the time, like it's your biggest bottleneck. It could just be something that you might not like to do or something that,
you're not good at.
Yeah. And it's just like finding someone that's better than you and then putting them in place. And then they're able to think about it this way. Like if you were to hire an editor and they're better at editing than you, all of a sudden your services just got better. Yeah. Now you can charge more.
That's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal for sure. And I think what we forgot to mention in the beginning when we were talking about the 4 quadrants, the employee, self-employed, business owner, investor, you want to eventually get to that investor end because then that's when you just give people money and your money turns into more money, just like a snap of a finger. So it's cool going through these transitions. And I think I'm at the point where, for the last 4 or 5 years, I had created a job for myself doing these videos, but I'm starting to be at that point where it's not 100% where I can make money if I was to go on vacation or not work that day, but it's getting to that point where things are happening that I'm not actually involved in. So pre-production and sales right now is happening whether I'm here or whether I'm in Memphis. Some of the editing stuff, that's the next step where if I can be
in Memphis. I'm sorry.
It's just a place I thought of. I'm not sure. Or if I'm in, Maine or whatever it might be, or I'm down in Arizona, if someone's editing videos while I'm down there, that's just keeping the business going and I can be on vacation or I can just not focus on editing that day. So I am in that point where it's not 100% there, but things are getting done while I'm not actually working on them, which is cool.
How do you feel when you're say in Vegas and your deliverables are getting done and you're still getting paid? How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's electric. It makes me want to quit my job and have everyone do it for me.
Why don't you do it then?
Because I need more money.
Yeah, but you're just putting the people in place and then you're taking the cut and you're steering the ship.
I know. But I think it's not as easy to just put the people in place as you think it is.
Okay.
A lot of training goes into it. You have to make sure quality control is there. I think training's the biggest thing, actually showing people how things get done your way, and so how it matches. Not that it can differ a little bit, but yeah, putting the people in place, getting there, but you still have to work out those kinks of I look at it as like this. The project goes through a garden hose, and if there's one little kink in it, whether it's someone doesn't know how to create a call sheet or whatever, that whole entire flow is going to be messed up.
So one of the things that we have in the notes is processes. And for you, getting those people to know to avoid any of these kinks is having the processes. Have you started creating any of those processes or videos to help build up their knowledge to get them to the point where they know how you work and how you function? And if so, do you have any specific platform that you use?
I've started a little bit. So as far as processes that go with working with clients and such, the VidLead Studio, which I've started to implement the last couple weeks, that's what I've been working on through that. God, I'm like getting sick or something. But that I know, right? That I've started to implement where I have pipelines and I can put the production pipeline of where we're at in the process. I can assign tasks to people in there, say, hey, this needs to be edited by next Friday, whatever it might be. As far as the training aspect goes on the physical services, whether it's shooting or editing or pre-production, creating call sheets, all of that, I don't have training for that right now. I have a couple things on Frame.io that are just SOPs, standard operating procedures, if people don't know what that is. Basically, is a document or a video that walks through, this is exactly how I do this process, and will train you on how you should do this process moving forward if you're taking over this this task. Kind of reminds me of that video that I've seen on TikTok, that girl that's like, you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Yeah, it's been on,
Yeah. So that's, you need those videos. So one, you don't have to train them hands-on the whole time. It's nice if they just have like, hey, here's a folder. This walks through everything. You just, you save manpower actually having to physically train somebody. But yeah, I do have to get those implemented before I start to bring on numerous amounts of people.
Do you have a platform like Kijiji or something that you're going to house everything in, or Google Drive, or do you have a plan for that?
Right now I'm just using Frame.io. I don't think I need a teaching website yet. Maybe if the team starts to get bigger where it's like, I'm bringing on 4 people a year, that might be a little bit different. But I just use the apps that I have right now that I'm paying for. I think you have to pay for Kijiji or Teachable or whatever it is. So
yeah, we're kind of going through that process right now at work where everyone's position is teaming up and trying to come up with the processes, write it out. And then I think we're going to be recording looms. I don't know where we're going to be housing it, but I think we're just kind of going through the processes to help with onboarding and training and all that fun stuff. Yeah,
should be exciting. I'm not super in the weeds on, SOPs and how to create the processes. I'm still learning. But I want to be able to get to that point where I don't have to physically explain a bunch of stuff, where the automations are taking people through it and it's just a machine. But got to work through how to actually set that up. Or talk to somebody that has. Yeah.
What?
Or talk to somebody that has already done it, and then you can just get a little shortcut, a little cheat code. Yeah. I think we did 5 episodes on a mentor. What else we got on here, Tyler? I lost track on my notes, but maybe you're following along a bit better than me. I'm not sure.
I'm not following along.
That's all right.
I see processes done, and then I've talked a little bit about vision and having it where you want to go, focus, buying back your time, hiring that one person. I feel like we pretty much covered everything. I don't know if there's anything else you want to really touch on here.
No, I think we got it to a good point, especially if, we didn't want to go in here and say, this is exactly how you need to turn your job into a business, because we're not 100% there. So we more so want to talk about our plan on how we're looking at doing it and our thoughts on it in general. If you have questions, we could sure answer them, but I think we covered it pretty well.
Do you have, or do you think, so I'll rephrase this. Do you think it's a good thing to have a timeline on when you want to be out of your business and have someone in place?
I never want to be, I mean, I know you didn't mean this by your question. I never want to be out of my business where, you know, I'm just on vacation.
Yeah.
I still like the day to day and making sure
I'm just saying
things are
not an
running
employee,
smoothly.
not self-employed.
Well, I don't know, because I think even right now, I still like shooting the projects. Whereas even if I had the opportunity to stop shooting them, I don't know if I'd want to. I feel like
Right.
eventually to really grow it, I need to. But I enjoy shooting the projects right now. But I'd say, you know, maybe 5 years, 5-year window. And then then I'd be comfortable not shooting anything. Just be more so the creative director.
So the question, do you think it's smart to have a time frame though on when you want to be out?
No, I think it can be fluid. Not that it's not smart. I think it could be fluid. Like right now, I think 5 years, when I'm 30, that's maybe a time when you're like, okay, let's try to grow this thing. So maybe it's a national company, right? And there's you work nationally, you're everywhere, you're flying everywhere. But for right now, in the next 5 years, it's fine if I'm shooting stuff because I like shooting stuff. And if we get from current revenue to maybe whatever, $1 million, whatever it might be, that's okay. But I do think there's going to come a point when it's like, okay, let's really blow this thing up. And maybe it's a year from now. And it's like, okay, I don't want to shoot this because this just operating the business and making it grow is much more lucrative. And I like doing it more. Then I might say, I don't care about shooting. So I don't think there should be like, I need to do this in 5 years, because something might change in a year and you say, sweet, let's do this now. Or you might get to 5 years down the road, you're in a comfortable place and you're like, you know what, I don't need to get it. You know, I don't need to remove myself from this part of the equation yet. So I think it should be fluid, but you can sure throw a artificial label on it.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because if you do put a number on it or a date or a time, it could be bad because it might force, like, could be good, could be bad, because it forces you against the wall, punches you in the face, and it's like, well, how are you going to react? But at the same time, it's like, it might not be the right time. So that's just kind of like what I was thinking about, where say I want to be out of the business in 2 years and the time is just not right. I don't have the processes in place, but I mean, at the same time, throwing yourself in the shitter, and then it's just like, okay, now you got to solve it. Now you got to figure it out. And now your back's up against the wall. How are you going to solve it? So I think it could just be like another opportunity to learn, but at the same time, it could just be less beneficial than it is beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm going through with this transition with Matt as well, is that he wanted it to be out in a year, right? He wanted the transition to go a year. We went a year and he realized that wasn't achievable. So he has to then change his time frame to, okay, let's make sure we get these processes and the workflow down in 1 year, and then we'll look back again. So the original timeline of a year has now moved to 2 years, and maybe after 2 years, we figure out, okay, this is actually going to take 5, or this is going to take 3, whatever it might be. So definitely having that fluid deadline is good, because you don't want to trap yourself or pigeonhole yourself into be, you know, I had 5 years, I didn't do it, I got to close up shop.
Yeah. And then it might lead to a bad deal or bad something or bad choices. So, yeah.
Oh, cool. Exactly. So what is the business idea you got for us this week, Tyler?
Straight into it. I like it. I was running the other week and I was talking to my one buddy that I'm going to be running the Ironman with. And I was like, you want to go for a run with me? And he lives in San Diego, so it's not really possible. So he's like, how would we do that? And I was just like, virtually, we'll run together. So I was just thinking, like, what if there's a way to actually run together? Obviously, I don't want to be wearing Apple's Vision Pros or whatever they're called while I'm running. But what
we lost Tyler.
I
completely and utterly lost.
The actual idea would be is
hang up on him.
Maybe getting to the point where it's, I guess,
you gotta touch my AirPod,
where you can just like virtually run with someone
and kill them.
Then
yes. Did I hang up on you?
I don't know. I was trying to continue. I was trying to continue to talk and do it at the same time, but I was just like too distracted to call you and talk at the same time, and then I was just not talking.
I'm gonna
Okay.
All right. I'm not really sure where you were at, but I'll just lead you back in with a goo.
I'll just go back to it. I kind of know how you started.
Okay. And then you just want to, just your answer.
Yeah. All right. Going straight into it. I like it. So basically what happened was the other week I was going for a run or about to go for a run. And then I texted my one buddy that I was going to be going out for a run with. And I'm like, hey, do you want to go for a run with me? He's like, how would we do that? Because he lives in San Diego, so it's not possible for us. So I was like, we can virtually run together. And he's like, I was like, I'm doing a 2-hour run. You want to come on a 2-hour run with me? And then I was just thinking like, it would be really cool if we could actually quote unquote run together. And like, I don't think it would, like, maybe it's creating an app, but I'm obviously not going to be wearing those massive Apple Vision Pro goggles or whatever they are while I'm running. But maybe like it's getting to the point where you're able to, like, those are they're regular glasses, and then you can have like your buddy there, VR, AR, however it might be, and then you're quote unquote running with them. So I was just kind of, maybe it's an app, maybe it's an actual product. I don't know what it would be, but just trying to think about how I could actually run with someone that's not actually in my same physical location.
I think you just gave an idea for Apple Fitness. Once they get these Apple Vision Pros down to just glasses size, they can implement that.
You know what's funny? When I heard about Apple releasing this product, everyone's just saying Google Glass was way ahead of its time. Because if you think about it, that was like 10 years ago, and those were just glasses with like a little piece on it. So, I mean, It's crazy that glasses 10 years ago, and now we have like these massive goggles, and it's like kind of went backwards.
Yeah, I think the first iteration, the Google Glass, was good, but the technology that are in those Vision Pros is way higher. They just got to figure out how to get that computing power down to a full-blown face mask into something I'd wear on the everyday. Because honestly, if they were this size, like the glasses I'm wearing right now, I'm a glasses wearer as is, I would wear those things. That'd be sweet.
Right. So like, that's what I'm saying, because the other day I went for a run and I had glasses on, and it's like, if it can fit into just regular old pairs of glasses and not be these massive, I don't know how much it weighs, like couple pound goggles. I'm not going to be wearing these goggles that have a head strap on while I'm running. So
what would you show on the glasses? The person running in front of you, or would you show the same scenery, or?
I think it would just be like the other person, and then it's just like virtually there. And then maybe there's like headphones or something where you can like communicate with them and talk to them.
Yeah, it's interesting, because I'd wondered what each of you would see, if it's a visual thing or if you want to just hear that person, or.
You can just FaceTime if you want to talk to them, but I think it would just be like virtually or augment. I don't know the difference, but augmented, like putting them actually right next to you. So I think you're still seeing your scenery. It's just virtually placing them next to you. And then maybe there's like a thing that says keep them paced with me. And then maybe like right above it, it says their current time, their current pace, their current whatever it is, like their heart rate. And maybe it's got like all their stats right above their head. And it's like you can look side by side, and then you can see like their cadence, but like it'll keep pace with you. So it's like you're still seeing what's in front of you. It's just virtually putting them next to you.
Yeah, because what is the big draw if you were to go running with somebody and you were in person? What is enjoyable about that?
Just having that competitor there.
Yeah, so then
pushes you a little bit.
Yeah, because if it's a competitive thing, the stats would be good. Yeah. Well, do you talk to that person? Like if you're on an in-person run?
A little bit, depending on the effort.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
So I think it'd be good if you definitely had the audio involved in it. And it'd be good because if it was something in the glasses where all you needed was glasses, because some people might not run with their phones, or they don't have pockets or whatever it might be. If you just had yourself and the glasses and it could link all that together, it'd be cool.
Right. So that's what I was just thinking about on this past week. It would be pretty cool if we could virtually run together.
I think you wait 10 years, it'll be here. I think you could do that. So just tell them to just wait a couple years and
Or we
you'll be good to
create
go.
Or we create one of our 76 ideas.
Yeah. I don't know if this would be the first one I lean towards, as it's probably the most difficult we've ever talked about, but we'll see. We could have a
Maybe
meeting about
ChatGPT can make it for us.
Yeah, they can. ChatGPT, a cool thing about that, it can export Excel. What is it? Excel files. XCEL. I don't know what the extension is, but if you say, do this chart for me or do this graph, and then export it in an Excel file, it will, which is pretty sweet. Yeah,
Interesting.
So, all right, Tyler. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right,
Screw
that's
Apple
episode. Yeah, exactly. Go Garmin. That's episode 76 of The Midnight Entrepreneur. If you have any questions you'd like us to cover or answer, you can email us at themidnightentrepreneur@gmail.com. And if you found value in this content or found this entertaining, share this with a friend or post it on your story. And if you really enjoyed the show, we'd love a rating and a review wherever you are listening. Talk to you guys next week for another episode of The Midnight Entrepreneur.
Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Arthur Ashe.